What's going on, eight brothers and sisters alike? My name is Tyler and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we are obviously going to go over a general update for AMC, look at the technicals, take a look at the Ortex data, the Stocko tracker data as far as the dark pool percentage, literally everything you guys need to know. We're also going to talk about a little bit about earnings, but there's going to be a different kind of twist to this video as well. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk, especially on Twitter, that AMC should start allowing Dogecoin for payment at their theaters. Now, there's been a lot of support for this, believe it or not, and we're going to talk about if this possibly could happen, in my opinion, and what would happen if this does happen. So with that being said, guys, drop the like on the video, show your boy some love, and let's get into it. So let's first go over a general update of AMC stock and where we do currently sit. Now, when it does come down to the technical analysis, I pretty much say this in every single video, but we are pinned right under $40. $40 is a severe resistance level. It's going to take a lot to cross that. We see a lot of shorting going on at the $40 price, as well as a lot of fraudulent activity, to be quite honest. We all do know what is happening, as well as algorithmic trading programs just don't want to bid the stock up over $40. We could see that eventually it will have to go over $40 if the short squeeze is going to happen. So that is a well-known fact. Eventually we will break over $40. Once that does happen, we are looking for the 200-day moving average, which I pretty much say in every single video, to actually break that, and that is at $47.89. We did get confirmation this will be another resistance level back here on July 21st when we literally bounced right off of the line, and that was at $46.50. So that is basically all you guys need to know from the technicals. Let's take a look at the volume. We still do have about 30 minutes left for trading, and we only have 49 million in volume, extremely low volume. And relative to the volume that we are seeing, the fact we are only down less than 3% is a great thing in my opinion. When you see this overall volume just degrade, just gone, the volume is gone, basically, you should see the stock actually going down a lot more than 3% in any given day. So that is a bullish thing right there, guys. Pay attention to the volume and the price action. That'll give you the biggest indicator of what is going on and the sentiment behind apes. But now let's take a look at the Ortex data. We all know, take this information with a grain of salt. Their data programs, they've been pretty inaccurate in the past, so who knows what the actual number is. I think when you account for all these other variables that we don't have the full picture of, I would estimate the short interest is really in between about 40% on the low end and 80% on the high end, like I usually say in these videos. But for imaginary sakes here, let's just assume these numbers are accurate for just 1 second. You guys will get the analogy here in a minute. But the current short interest percentage of free float at 15.21%, categorized as extreme short interest, right there, likely to go through some level of short squeeze as well. And then we do have the current shares that are sold short of almost 78 million. Relative to the volume that we see today, less than 50 million for volume. If all the volume on the day was straight buys going into the stock one would go crazy, but we would still have about another day's worth of volume that would all be buys as well. That's not to mention the hedge funds, institutions that are going to jump in this trade, the FOMO buyers, the day traders, and the whole group of people waiting for the short squeeze to invest. So there's a lot of variables we don't know, but if these numbers are correct, these are still phenomenally great numbers relative to even what we have seen over the past couple of months, going down to a low of about 10% short interest, now at almost 15.5. I would say this is a win if these numbers are correct. Hopefully you guys understand what I am saying here. But we do have return shares for the day of 2.16 million, borrowed shares 1.21 million, borrow change of negative 948.71 thousand. Keep in mind, these are not covered shares. The shorts are not covering whatsoever. This is from the free flow on loan, which is almost at 20%. As we already said, the short interest percentage of free float is at 15.21%. So a lot of these short sellers have AMC in their portfolios ready to sell the stock short, but for some reason they are returning these shares without actually selling them short. So this is not giving you a clear indicator of if the shorts are actually covering. We know they're not covering. Take a look at what the stock is doing. We're down 3%. They're not covering these shares. They're simply returning these shares back to the rightful owner. But utilization is at almost 92%. So it's becoming even harder to borrow the stock. So you might see a lot of failure to deliver start to come up, a lot of naked shorting as well as synthetic shorting. So we're really going to want to watch to see when the FTD numbers do come out to see if we possibly go back to that threshold securities list at some point in the future. Now let's talk about the overall Stocko tracker data, guys. We're actually seeing the dark pool percentage going down from a high of 71.5%. Now as far as yesterday is 67.4%. So So we're seeing this go down, and we do know there was a proposed rule change that was passed that is essentially paying these market makers more money to send these orders to lit exchanges rather than the dark pool. So this might start to actually be reflected in the Stocko tracker data. It's too early to tell. Obviously the government, the SEC, they work really slow, so we'll have a better picture of this in the coming months. But it does look like, if I were to imagine, that is why the dark pool percentage is starting to go down. Now, as far as a potential gamma squeeze, it's off the table. We're not going to see a gamma squeeze until at least August 20th. By then, I mean, we do have a 40,665 options that are currently in the money, almost 200,000 that are out the money, and by the time we do come to August 20th, we should have probably a couple 100,000 that are in the money and out the money. That's just how it tends to work out, but we don't have a chance for a gamma squeeze until August 20th, so just keep that in mind. There's really no chance of a gamma squeeze at this current moment. Now, take a look at the Fintel ownership real quick, guys. We are looking at a lot of bullish sentiment. We've seen over the past, 3 days, these 13F filings have been released. We're only seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 firms that have actually sold out. We're seeing a lot of firms that are keeping or holding on to their hold positions. They bought in the range of $30 and $35, which is about the price we are trading right now, which is bullish in and of itself. But we're seeing even more firms that are actually loading up on new positions. But if you're holding your position, that is very bullish as well. If you thought the stock was going down, you would sell out. So this is a clear sentiment of what the hedge funds and institutions think, and I think it's clear that they are very bullish on AMC. But now, let's talk about this whole Dogecoin situation, guys. This is an article from Yahoo Finance. I'm just going to read a quick little bit of this. There's pictures and all that, so we're going to get into it. Dogecoin community looks to get on AMC's radar. Dogecoin, the 7th biggest cryptocurrency and entertainment, AMC Entertainment have something in common. They both attained meme status in their respective spheres. Now some Dogecoin fans would like to see these two worlds collide. It appears to have started with YouTube Steven Steele, who discusses many cryptocurrency related topics on his channel. Steele, who has more than 10k followers on Twitter, suggested that AMC should start accepting Dogecoin as a payment method. Now this is very interesting because in my personal opinion, the reason Tesla hasn't accepted Doge for Teslas is because they're a lot more expensive. There's a lot more to risk. But for movie theater tickets, how much can you possibly lose considering the fact Dogecoin has a pretty decent acceptance, right? A lot of people accept it as something of the future that may actually be a reliable cryptocurrency. So I think there's a big difference between other companies and AMC. I think personally it's more feasible for AMC to do this rather than even Tesla. As we do know, Elon loves Doge, so that could possibly happen as well sometime into the future. But like I said, I think it's more feasible that AMC would do this rather than even a company like Tesla. Now, with all the focus on Bitcoin and Amazon, Steele has seemingly sought to shift the narrative in another direction. It is all speculation at this point. Keep in mind, all speculation at this point. But Steele's suggestions seem to have resonated with Doge fans. Dogecoin bull Elon Musk himself appears to have liked Steele's tweet. And the tweet was, AMC should really accept Dogecoin. It just makes sense. Do you agree? And he did like this tweet. And if you guys really think about this from Adam Aron's perspective, he wants AMC's price to go up. He has a lot of options, millions and millions of shares worth in options if the company performs well and the stock does well. So if you sit back and think about it, a company like Tesla, like I said, they have a lot more to lose. A company like AMC could potentially have a lot more to gain. Now, this is all speculative, guys. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying it's happening right now. I would expect Adam Aron to say something about this, but I don't expect him to just shut this down right away, especially if it keeps gaining traction, just because they don't have much to lose by doing this. Movie theater tickets, relatively cheap. Even if they let you buy tickets with Dogecoin, not even necessarily food or concessions or anything, that would still, I think, be seen as a very positive thing for AMC stock, and that would really be a white swan, right? A black swan is something bad comes out. A white swan is something that is good, right? So I think it would be seen as basically a good thing for AMC stock when it does come down to it. But that is pretty much all to add to this. Like I said, very speculative. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if they're talking about this, but I'm sure he has seen this and he will make a comment on this at some point into the future. But that is going to conclude this video. That is an AMC update where we currently sit with the short squeeze. I cannot complain whatsoever. I am in this until it is squozing, and I know most of you guys are as well. So this is just a general update, as well as we went over the rumors about Dogecoin and AMC. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think about this. Do you think it's feasible like I do? Do you think it's impossible? Let me know your opinions down there. While you're down there, make sure to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you guys want to get totally free stock, check out the link for public. They do not use payment for order flow. No need to even link a bank account or deposit a single dollar. You get your free stock in about 3 minutes time, and it is by definition free money. So if you guys are not signed up with that, highly recommend you do that. But I will see you guys in the next video.